Chaos. It's the force that dismantles plans, shatters dreams, and breaks the weak. It's the unrelenting storm that most fear and flee from, clinging desperately to illusions of safety and control. But here's the truth. Chaos is inevitable. No matter how carefully you plan, no matter how tightly you hold on, life will find a way to rip it all apart. And that's where your power begins. To our returning GrimFace subscribers, welcome back. You're already part of a movement that's changing lives every single day. You've seen it in yourself. You've seen it in the comments on our videos, where people share their breakthroughs, their transformations, and their victories over the chaos. You're proof that this works. Together, we're building a community of people who refuse to live as victims of the storm and instead rise to master it. For those of you new to this channel, this is your call to action. This is your invitation to join the GrimFace movement, a movement dedicated to giving people their strength back, to helping them reclaim control of their lives, and to forge their own paths in a world that wants them weak and compliant. We're not just inspiring change, we're creating it. Hundreds of lives are transforming every day, and the proof is right there in the voices of those who've dared to step into the storm. While the masses panic, scramble, and crumble under the weight of uncertainty, there exists a rare breed of individuals who rise in the midst of the storm. They don't fight chaos, they embrace it. They don't fear the unknown, they command it. These individuals are not born. They are forged in the fire of adversity, wielding chaos as a weapon, a tool, and a path to domination. Look around you. The world you know is not stable. It's built on shifting sands, ready to collapse at any moment. Yet here's your choice. Will you stand frozen, praying for the storm to pass? Or will you step into it, unflinching, knowing that the chaos you face holds the keys to your evolution? Understand this. Chaos doesn't care about your excuses, your fears, or your comfort zone. It is a force that will test every fiber of your being, tearing you apart if you let it, or remaking you into something greater if you dare to face it head-on. This is your chance. This is your challenge. Master the art of controlled chaos, and you will not just survive the storm, you will become it. Subscribe to GrimFace today. Join the movement. Take back your power, and let's show the world what it means to rise. Lesson 1. Understanding chaos. Chaos. It's the beast lurking in the shadows of every plan, every dream, every fragile piece of order you cling to. You've been taught to fear it, to avoid it, to build walls high enough and strong enough to keep it out. But let me tell you the truth. Those walls you've built, they're nothing but paper in the wind. Chaos isn't something you can outrun, hide from, or ignore. It's coming. It always is. But here's where most people fail. They spend their lives fighting chaos, resisting it, pretending it's some anomaly in a world that should be stable and predictable. Let me ask you, when has life ever been predictable? When has order ever lasted? You know the answer. Deep down, you felt it. The creeping, gnawing reality that everything can and will fall apart. The question isn't if, but when. Now you can spend your life like the rest of the world, trembling at the edge of the unknown. Or you can take a different path. You can confront chaos, stare into its unrelenting void, and understand it for what it truly is. The raw, unfiltered truth of existence. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to test you, to push you, to force you to grow. Think about it. Every moment of greatness in history wasn't born from comfort and stability. It was forged in the fires of chaos. Empires were built in the midst of uncertainty. Legends were made by those who thrived in the storm, while others crumbled. Chaos is the crucible, and only those who embrace it can emerge unbreakable. So, let's stop pretending. Chaos is the natural state of the universe. It's the force that breaks the weak and elevates the strong. And here's the secret they don't want you to know. Chaos is power. It's fuel for those bold enough to claim it. It doesn't care about your fear or your hesitation. It only rewards those who step into it, who grab it by the throat and use it to their advantage. The first step to mastering chaos is to understand it, not as some malevolent force, but as a tool, a weapon. It's there to teach you, to challenge you, to strip away everything that's holding you back so you can become something greater. When you stop running from chaos and start embracing it, you unlock a power most people will never even comprehend. So, ask yourself, are you willing to step into the storm? Are you willing to let chaos shape you, mold you, and push you to limits you didn't know existed? Because if you are, you'll discover a truth most will never see. Chaos doesn't destroy the strong. It reveals them. This is your wake-up call. Chaos isn't coming for you. It's waiting for you to take control. Understand it, embrace it, and then dominate it. The choice is yours. What will you do? Lesson 2. The psychological edge of chaos. Chaos doesn't break you. Your mind does. Let that sink in for a moment. The storm outside isn't what crushes most people. It's the storm inside. It's the whispers of fear, the relentless pull of doubt, and the suffocating weight of panic that bring even the strongest to their knees. But here's the truth no one wants to face. Chaos doesn't create your fear. It exposes it. Every weakness, every insecurity, every crack in the foundation of your mind. It all comes flooding to the surface when uncertainty strikes. And in that moment, when the world feels like it's caving in, you're left with a decision. Will you let your mind betray you, or will you take control of it? Understand this. Chaos doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your plans or your excuses. It is a test, a mirror that reflects your mental strength or your fragility. And when that test comes, you have two choices. Succumb to the fear and let it paralyze you, or sharpen your psychological edge and rise above the chaos. Let me tell you something most people don't have the courage to admit. Your mind is both your greatest weapon and your worst enemy. When chaos strikes, it's your mind that will determine whether you crumble or conquer. But here's the catch. Your mind won't save you unless you train it to. Discipline, focus, resilience. These aren't traits you're born with. They're forged through fire, through pain, through relentless practice in the face of adversity. So how do you gain the psychological edge? First, you must understand the nature of fear. Fear is nothing but a thief, a liar, whispering in your ear that the chaos is too much for you to handle. But fear is also predictable. It follows patterns, it repeats itself, and once you understand it, you can control it. The key is not to fight the fear, but to face it, to let it wash over you without giving it the power to control your actions. Next, you must master the art of staying calm under pressure. While others panic, you breathe. While others freeze, you move. While others fall apart, you build. Calm isn't the absence of chaos. It's the ability to remain composed within it. Train your mind to slow down when the world speeds up. In the eye of the storm, that calm will be your weapon. And finally, you must see chaos for what it truly is, an opportunity. Chaos strips away the masks, the pretenses, and the illusions of control. It reveals the truth about who you are and what you're capable of. When you learn to embrace that truth, when you stop fighting the storm and start navigating it, you become unstoppable. This is the psychological edge of chaos. Mastering your mind so that no external force can shake you. While the rest of the world clings to their fragile sense of security, you will stand firm. Not because chaos doesn't touch you, but because it doesn't control you. So I ask you, will you let your mind betray you, or will you take control? Will you be the one who panics, or will you be the one who thrives? The storm is coming. It always is. But when it does, will you rise above it? The choice is yours. Make it. Lesson 3. Building resilience in the face of uncertainty. Resilience. It's not something you're born with. It's not handed to you in moments of peace or comfort. No, resilience is forged. It's beaten into you by the relentless hammer of chaos, shaped in the fires of adversity, and sharpened through every battle you fought to survive. But here's the hard truth. Most people never build it. They crumble at the first sign of resistance, retreat into their comfort zones, and convince themselves that life is supposed to be easy. They tell themselves lies to justify their weakness. I'm just unlucky, or it wasn't meant to be. You've heard them. Maybe you've even said them. But deep down, you know the truth. Resilience isn't something you find. It's something you earn. Life is chaos. Uncertainty is guaranteed. And if you're waiting for the world to give you a break, to hand you the time and space to figure things out, you'll be waiting until the day you die. Chaos doesn't wait. It doesn't care about your plans, your dreams, or your excuses. It's coming for you. And the only thing that will decide whether you rise or fall is your resilience. So how do you build it? How do you forge the unbreakable will that allows you to stand tall when everything around you is falling apart? First, you must embrace the grind. Resilience isn't built in a single moment. It's carved out over time, through repetition, through hardship. Every time you choose to face the pain instead of running from it, you're adding another layer to your armor. Every small victory, every step forward in the face of adversity, is another brick in the foundation of your resilience. The grind is ugly, it's exhausting, and it's thankless, but it's necessary. Second, you must learn to find strength in your scars. Every wound you've endured, every setback you faced, they're not signs of your weakness. They're proof of your survival. Look at them, remember the battles they represent, and realize this. If you survive that, you can survive this. Your scars are not your shame, they're your power. Third, you must embrace failure as your greatest teacher. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about using it. Failure is the fire that tempers your will, the pain that sharpens your edge. Every time you fall, you're given a choice. Stay down or rise stronger. Those who are resilient know this. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of growth. And finally, you must anchor yourself in purpose. Resilience isn't just about enduring. It's about enduring for something greater. Find the reason you fight, the thing that makes the pain worth it, and cling to it with everything you have. When chaos tries to tear you apart, your purpose will hold you together. So here's the challenge. Stop hoping for a life free from chaos. Stop waiting for things to get easier. They won't. Instead, decide, right here and now, that you will become stronger. That no matter what comes your way, no matter how hard you're hit, you will not break. You will bend, you will adapt, and you will rise. Resilience isn't a gift. It's a choice. A brutal, painful, relentless choice. But it's the choice that separates the weak from the powerful, the forgotten from the unstoppable. So I ask you, will you build your resilience, or will you let the storm consume you? The decision is yours. Choose wisely. Lesson 4. Taking action in chaos. Chaos is a ruthless predator, devouring those who hesitate, swallowing the indecisive whole. It's not patient. It doesn't wait for you to figure things out. to gather your courage, or to get comfortable. Chaos moves fast, and if you don't act, it will crush you under its weight. But let me tell you a secret. Action is the one thing chaos can't conquer. While others freeze, paralyzed by fear and uncertainty, the ones who take bold, decisive action rise above the storm. Chaos doesn't destroy those who move. It rewards them. But here's the catch. Action in chaos isn't about blind movement. It's about precision, strategy, purpose. Think of the moments in your life where chaos struck hardest. Did you hesitate? Did you freeze, hoping things would resolve themselves? Did you let the storm dictate your outcome? If you did, you've already felt the consequences. Hesitation is a slow death. It erodes your strength, chips away at your potential, and leaves you powerless in the face of the unknown. But that's not who you have to be. Chaos is your proving ground. It's your opportunity to show the world, and yourself, that you can act when it matters most, that you can step into the storm and carve your path through the madness. The first step is simple. Trust yourself. Not the version of you that doubts and second-guesses every move. Trust the part of you that knows what needs to be done, the primal instinct that rises when the pressure is at its peak. Most people ignore that instinct. They drown it out with overthinking and fear. Don't make that mistake. Trust it. Act on it. Second, focus on what you can control. Chaos thrives on distraction. It wants you to flail, to waste your energy on things beyond your reach. Don't fall for it. Narrow your focus. Take small, deliberate steps. Control your breathing. Control your thoughts. Control your actions. In chaos, control is power, and even the smallest piece of power can turn the tide. Third, embrace the risk. You've been conditioned to fear failure, to avoid risk at all costs. But here's the truth. Chaos doesn't care about your comfort or your safety. The only way to beat it is to step into the unknown and take calculated risks. Yes, you might fail. Yes, you might stumble. But every step forward, no matter how uncertain, brings you closer to mastery. And finally, make chaos your ally. Stop fighting it. Stop wishing it away. Accept that it's part of the journey, and then use it. Use the energy, the unpredictability, the fear. It's all fuel for those who know how to harness it. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your forge. And the fire of chaos will either destroy you or make you stronger. The choice is yours. So here's the question. You need to ask yourself, when the storm rages, when the world falls apart, will you be the one who acts? Will you rise above the fear and uncertainty? Or will you sink into the shadows with the rest? Chaos is watching. It's waiting. And it respects only one thing: action. Take it. Seize it. Own it. Because in the end, it's not the chaos that defines you. It's what you do in the face of it. Lesson 5. Harnessing chaos for growth. Chaos is a force that consumes the weak and elevates the bold. Most run from it, terrified by its unpredictability, paralyzed by its power. But those who dare to face it, who learn to embrace its wild, unrelenting energy, discover a secret. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your greatest ally. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It doesn't come from predictability, stability, or ease. Growth comes from destruction, from dismantling what no longer serves you, and rebuilding something stronger in its place. Chaos is the catalyst for that destruction. It tears down the illusions of control, burns away the false sense of security, and forces you to confront the raw truth of who you are. And in that truth lies your opportunity for growth. Look at the world around you. Everything great, everything lasting, was born from chaos. Nature thrives on it. Storms carve mountains, fires regenerate forests, and upheaval creates life. Human progress follows the same path. It's in the moments of crisis, of breakdown, of absolute uncertainty, that the seeds of greatness are planted. Chaos doesn't destroy potential. It awakens it. But here's the thing. Chaos doesn't hand you growth. It offers you the opportunity, but you have to seize it. You have to step into the storm, not as a victim, but as a warrior. You have to see chaos for what it truly is. A test, a challenge, a chance to become more than you were before. To harness chaos, you must first change the way you see it. Stop viewing it as a threat and start seeing it as a forge. Every disruption, every failure, every moment of uncertainty is a chance to refine yourself. Chaos doesn't care about your comfort zone, and neither should you. Growth begins the moment you step beyond what you know and embrace the unknown. Next, you must adapt. Chaos demands flexibility. It rewards those who can bend without breaking, who can adjust their course without losing sight of their destination. Rigidity is death in the face of chaos. Adaptability is survival. But more than survival, it's the key to thriving in the storm. And finally, you must build. Chaos doesn't just destroy, it clears the way. It wipes the slate clean, giving you the chance to create something new, something stronger, something unshakable. Use the energy of chaos to construct the life you want. Let it fuel your ambition, your creativity, your drive. Chaos is raw potential, and it's yours to shape. This is the truth most people will never understand. Chaos isn't here to break you. It's here to challenge you, to mold you, to push you toward a version of yourself you never thought possible. But only if you're willing to face it. Only if you're willing to harness it. Only if you're willing to grow. So ask yourself, are you ready to step into the chaos? Are you ready to let it tear down what's holding you back and build something greater in its place? Chaos is your test, your forge, your fuel. Don't run from it. Don't fear it. Master it. Because in the end, chaos doesn't destroy the strong. It creates them. Will you let it create you? Lesson 6. The paradox of control. Control. It's what we all crave. The comfort of knowing what's coming. The safety of dictating the outcome. The illusion that we can bend the world to our will. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit. Control is a lie. The tighter you cling to it, the more it slips through your fingers. The harder you try to hold the world in place, the more it will tear itself apart to prove one thing. You are not in control. Chaos doesn't play by your rules. It doesn't care about your plans, your strategies, or your carefully built walls. Chaos is wild. It's untamed. And the moment you try to cage it, it will break you. So stop. Stop trying to control the storm. Stop exhausting yourself in a losing battle against forces far greater than you. Let go. That's the paradox. True control isn't found in conquering chaos. It's found in mastering yourself within it. It's not about bending the storm to your will. It's about standing tall in its fury, unshaken, unbroken. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable and focus on controlling your response, you unlock a power few will ever understand. Let me ask you this. What are you clinging to right now? What are you so afraid of losing that you'd rather live in chains than face uncertainty? Is it a job, a relationship, a reputation? Whatever it is, let it go. Because the harder you cling, the more power you give it over you. And in chaos, anything you can't let go of becomes your weakness. When you stop resisting chaos and start flowing with it, you discover a truth that most people will never grasp. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your guide. It's a force that strips away everything false, everything unnecessary, leaving you with nothing but raw, unfiltered reality. And in that space, you're free. Free to act, free to grow, free to thrive. But here's the catch. Letting go isn't easy. It's terrifying. It feels like surrender, but it's not. Surrendering isn't giving up. It's giving in to the flow, trusting that you're strong enough to navigate whatever comes your way. It's about realizing that the only thing you truly control is yourself, your mind, your actions, your choices. Control isn't about dominance. It's about alignment. Aligning yourself with the chaos, moving with it instead of against it, and using its energy to propel you forward. This is the paradox of control. You gain it by giving it up. So here's your challenge. Let go. Let go of the need to control every outcome, to predict every move, to cling to what feels safe. Let chaos do its work. Let it strip you down, break you open, and reveal what you're truly capable of. When you stop fearing the storm and start embracing it, you'll discover that the chaos you once ran from is the very thing that will set you free. Because in the end, control isn't about taming the storm. It's about becoming the calm within it. So let go, take a breath, and step into the chaos. Not to fight it, but to master yourself within it. The storm isn't your enemy. It's your awakening. Will you take control by letting go? The choice is yours. Lesson 7. The warrior's mindset. Fear. It's the shadow that follows you everywhere. It whispers in your ear, feeds your doubts, and paralyzes your actions. Fear is chaos's most loyal weapon, and it wields it against you with precision. But let me tell you a truth that most will never understand. Fear is not your enemy. It's your fuel. Fear exists for one reason: to test you. It's a fire, and you have two choices. Let it consume you, or let it forge you. Most people choose the first. They run from fear, hide from it, build their lives around avoiding it. But in doing so, they become prisoners of their own cowardice. They let fear dictate their boundaries, their potential, their lives. You're not here to live like that. You're here to master fear, to use it as a weapon rather than a weakness. Fear is raw energy. It's adrenaline coursing through your veins. It sharpens your senses, quickens your reflexes, and primes your body to act. Fear doesn't want you to stop. It's screaming at you to move, to rise, to fight. But only if you're willing to listen. The first step is simple. Acknowledge your fear. Don't suppress it. Don't deny it. And don't let shame take root. Fear is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're alive. It's proof that you're standing at the edge of something that matters. Warriors feel fear just as deeply as cowards. The difference? Warriors use it. Cowards don't. Second, you must reframe your fear. Stop seeing it as a warning of doom and start seeing it as a signal of opportunity. Fear arises when you're about to step into the unknown, when you're on the verge of growth. It's a compass pointing you toward the challenges that will shape you. Lean into it. Embrace it. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of and why? What does this fear reveal about the person I'm meant to become? And then comes the most important step. Act. Fear only controls you if you stand still. The moment you move, the moment you take even the smallest step forward, fear loses its grip. It doesn't vanish. It never will. But it transforms. It becomes excitement, drive, determination. Action is the antidote to fear, and every step you take is a declaration. I am stronger than this. Understand this. Fear doesn't exist to stop you. It exists to awaken you. It's the signal that you're on the brink of transformation. The question is, will you listen? Will you let it push you forward, or will you let it hold you back? So here's your challenge. The next time fear rises, don't run. Don't freeze. Stand your ground. Feel its power and make it yours. Let it light the fire within you, fueling your strength, your resilience, your determination. Fear isn't chaos's weapon against you. It's your weapon against chaos. Use it. Because in the end, the only difference between the warrior and the coward is this. The warrior knows that fear is not the enemy. Fear is the fuel. So ask yourself, right here, right now, will you let fear rule you, or will you make it your power? The choice is yours. Lesson 8. Chaos as a creative force. Destruction. That's what chaos brings. It tears apart the life you thought was secure, the plans you thought were foolproof, and the identity you thought was unshakable. Chaos rips everything down to its foundations, leaving nothing but rubble in its wake. And you're told to fear it. You're told to cling to what's left, to scramble for safety, to rebuild the same fragile structures that just crumbled. But why rebuild what was weak enough to fall in the first place? Why mourn the destruction of what wasn't built to last? Chaos doesn't just destroy for the sake of destruction. It clears the way. It creates space for something new, something stronger, something unstoppable. Chaos is a creative force, but only for those who have the courage to wield it. Look at history. Every great leap forward, every innovation, every revolution was born from chaos. The comfortable never innovate. The safe never create. It's in the upheaval, the uncertainty, the destruction of the old that the seeds of greatness are sown. Chaos forces you to ask, what now? What will you create from the ashes? But most people don't see it that way. They cling to the ruins, trying desperately to piece together what's already broken. They waste their energy rebuilding the past instead of forging the future. Don't be one of them. Don't waste your chaos. When the storm comes, and it will, let it tear down what no longer serves you. Let it strip away the excess, the distractions, the illusions. What's left is the raw material of creation. The first step to harnessing chaos as a creative force is to embrace destruction. Stop fearing the collapse of what you know and start seeing it as an opportunity. Destruction isn't an end, it's a beginning. When chaos wipes the slate clean, it hands you a blank canvas. What you do with it is up to you. Second, you must tap into the energy of chaos. There's a raw, untamed power in destruction, a surge of potential waiting to be unleashed. While others waste it in panic, you can channel it into creation. Let chaos energize your mind, spark your creativity, and drive you to build something extraordinary. The most innovative ideas, the boldest actions, come from those who dare to create amidst the rubble. Third, let go of perfection. Creation born from chaos isn't neat or orderly. It's messy, it's unpredictable, it's wild. Stop trying to control every detail, and instead, allow the chaos to shape your work. The best creations don't come from rigid plans. They come from adapting, improvising, and thriving in uncertainty. And finally, create with purpose. Chaos clears the way, but it's up to you to decide what takes its place. Don't rebuild for the sake of rebuilding. Build something meaningful. Build something unshakable. Let every piece you create be a reflection of the storm that forged it. This is the truth. Chaos isn't here to ruin you. It's here to transform you. It's here to tear down the old and make room for the new. It's here to test your courage, your vision, your ability to create in the midst of destruction. So when chaos strikes, when the ground beneath you crumbles, and the world falls apart, don't run. Don't hide. Stand in the rubble. Look at the blank canvas before you, and ask yourself, what will I create? Because in the end, chaos doesn't destroy. It reveals. It reveals your potential, your creativity, your power. And if you can embrace it, if you can harness it, chaos will become your greatest ally. So take the energy, take the destruction, and build something the world has never seen. The storm isn't your end, it's your beginning. Lesson 9. The strength of isolation. There's a silence that comes with chaos, a deafening stillness that follows the storm. When everything falls apart, the world feels empty, and suddenly, you're alone. Isolation is the byproduct of chaos. It strips you of your safety nets, your allies, your distractions. It leaves you with nothing but yourself. And for most, that's their greatest fear. But here's the truth. Isolation isn't a curse. It's a crucible. It's where the weak break and the strong are forged. The noise of the world, the opinions of others, the weight of their expectations. None of it matters in isolation. The only voice left is your own. And that's where the real battle begins. When chaos isolates you, it's not punishing you. It's giving you a gift, the chance to meet yourself, the chance to strip away every mask you've worn, every lie you've told yourself, and face the raw, unfiltered truth of who you are. It's in the silence of isolation that you learn your greatest lessons. It's where you discover what you're made of. Most people run from this. They fill the silence with distractions, drown the solitude with noise, anything to avoid facing themselves. They're terrified of what they might find. But not you. You're here because you're ready to confront the truth, to embrace the silence, to find strength in being alone. The first lesson of isolation is this: you don't need anyone to save you. The world will convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you're nothing without its validation, its approval, its guidance. But the world is wrong. Everything you need is already within you. Your strength, your resilience, your fire. It's all there, waiting for you to unleash it. Isolation doesn't take away your power. It reveals it. Second, isolation teaches you self-reliance. When there's no one to lean on, no one to carry you, you learn to stand on your own. It's not easy. It's brutal. But every step you take, every challenge you face, makes you stronger. Independence isn't given. It's earned. And isolation is your proving ground. Third, isolation gives you clarity. When the chaos of the world fades away, you see things as they truly are. You see your fears, your weaknesses, your potential. You see what matters and what doesn't. This clarity is your weapon. Use it to cut through the lies, the distractions, the noise, and focus on what truly drives you. And finally, isolation prepares you for the storm. Because the truth is, you won't always be alone. The chaos will bring others into your path, some to challenge you, some to support you, and some to tear you down. But when you've thrived in isolation, you're unshakable. You've already faced the worst. The silence, the solitude, the battle within, and you've come out stronger. So here's the challenge. Embrace the isolation. When chaos strips everything away, don't see it as your end. See it as your beginning. Use the silence to sharpen your mind, the solitude to build your strength. Become the kind of person who doesn't need the world, but chooses to shape it. Because in the end, isolation isn't your weakness. It's your power. It's where the storm stops and you rise. The question isn't whether you'll face isolation. It's whether you'll let it destroy you or make you unbreakable. So when chaos leaves you alone, don't fear it. Embrace it. Thrive in it. Because the strongest aren't the ones who avoid the storm. They're the ones who conquer it alone. Lesson 10. Becoming the chaos. Chaos. For so long, you've fought it, feared it, and tried to survive it. But what if I told you the ultimate power doesn't come from resisting chaos? It comes from becoming it. Chaos is not just a storm you endure, it's a force you can command. To master life, to dominate the world around you, you must transform. You must stop being the victim of chaos and start being its source. The world fears chaos because it cannot be controlled. It's unpredictable, relentless, and unstoppable. But here's the truth no one dares to speak. The person who becomes chaos is the one who can reshape reality. Chaos breaks rules, disrupts systems, and forces change. And when you wield it, you're no longer bound by the limitations that hold everyone else back. You become the storm. Becoming chaos isn't about destruction for its own sake. It's about using that raw, untamed energy to create and dominate. It's about bending the unpredictable to your will and harnessing it to achieve what no one else dares to. Chaos isn't your enemy. It's your identity waiting to be claimed. The first step to becoming chaos is to let go of fear. Fear is what keeps you tethered to the ground, while others soar. It's the leash that keeps you confined to the rules of a world that thrives on conformity. But chaos doesn't follow rules. Chaos doesn't bow to fear. If you want to embody it, you must embrace the unknown, the unpredictable, and the uncontrollable. Fear isn't your weakness. It's your signal to act. Second, you must learn to adapt faster than anyone else. Chaos is fluid. It never settles, never stagnates. To become chaos, you must evolve constantly. You must embrace change, anticipate shifts, and move with a speed and precision that leaves others reeling. While they cling to their plans, their structures, their fragile sense of control, you will flow like water, unstoppable and untouchable. Third, you must disrupt. Chaos isn't passive. It's active, relentless, and always moving forward. Look at the systems around you. The rules, the norms, the expectations. They exist to keep you small, to keep you obedient. Break them. Disrupt the patterns that keep others trapped. When you challenge the status quo, you force the world to bend to your will. And finally, you must embody the mindset of the storm. Chaos doesn't explain itself. It doesn't seek approval or validation. It moves with purpose, tearing down what doesn't serve and building what it chooses. You must do the same. Act with conviction, create with intensity, and never apologize for the power you wield. Becoming chaos isn't about losing control. It's about claiming it. It's about stepping into the role of the force that shapes the world, rather than being shaped by it. It's about being the disruptor, the innovator, the unstoppable force that others fear, but cannot ignore. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop surviving and start dominating? Are you ready to stop fighting the storm and become it? Chaos isn't just a force of destruction. It's a force of creation, transformation, and power. And it's waiting for you to take it. This is your moment. Step into the chaos, own it, become it, and let the world tremble in your wake. Because in the end, the greatest power isn't in controlling chaos. It's in being the one who wields it. The storm was never your enemy. It was your proving ground. You've walked through the lessons, felt the weight of isolation, embraced destruction, turned fear into fuel, and discovered the creative force within the chaos. You've learned not to survive the storm, but to thrive in it, to harness its energy, and now, to become it. But knowledge alone isn't enough. What will you do with it? Will you let the lessons fade, just another fleeting moment of inspiration? Or will you rise, armed with what you've learned, and transform everything around you? This is what chaos demands of you. Action. Bold, relentless, unapologetic action. And you're not alone in this journey. The GrimFace movement is for those who are ready to stand apart, to reject mediocrity, and to thrive in the chaos. If you're one of us, if you felt the fire ignite within you, then it's time to take the next step. Subscribe to GrimFace and join a community of those who refuse to bow to the rules, who embrace their inner storm, and who are ready to dominate their world. Let the world see the chaos in your eyes and feel the power in your presence. You are the storm. And now, you're part of a movement that will never be stopped. Subscribe. Join the GrimFace movement. Create. Disrupt. Dominate. Together, we'll make sure the world will never be the same.